Joining us now, Wired senior writer and author of Wired's newsletter, Inner Loop, Jake LaHutte, senior reporter for The Bulwark and author of Trust the Plan, The Rise of QAnon and the Conspiracy That Reshaped the World, Will Sommer, and senior editor at The Atlantic and host of Radio Atlantic, Hanna Rosin. Jake, they have all the evidence. They could just come out and say, here, yeah, Donald Trump's in it, but it's nothing burger. He's in address books. He's mentioned as somebody who lives in Palm Beach, whatever it is. I mean, they have the ability to just release it and show the American public if there is nothing there.
Yeah, and I think this gets to the kind of runaway train problem they've made for themselves with the base, where there's really no satisfactory answer unless it's rounding up a global pedophilic ring and throwing them all in jail. And, you know, back to my last reporting on this, when I spoke to Trump advisors, they're trying to put this blame on setting this all in motion with Pam Bondi and the binders. But obviously campaigning on this was clearly a mistake. And, you know, now we see Dan Bongino starting to sweat it out. And I just think that there's no containing this leakage.
Is there news on Dan Bongino?
There was a line on Dan Bongino in that Wall Street Journal story, actually, that was pertinent to our last discussion on him, where he said he's worried about his career and standing with the base. And obviously that is a career as a podcaster and talking head, not in law enforcement.
The base and the people that are demanding answers on Epstein, how loud is it right now? Has it died down?
Well, I think that it's not obviously the entire MAGA base who's this online and into it, but I still think that despite the attempts to try to bring up these old stories about Barack Obama or Hillary Clinton being on tranquilizers and the various red herrings that Tulsi Gabbard was attempting to throw out last week, it's not going away anytime soon. And the other really kind of major flaw, I think, in their strategy on this, and when I was talking to Trump advisors, the reason why they're so befuddled about the lack of a strategy here is that they're just trying to basically every time they throw out one of these old theories, especially if you look at that briefing where Carolyn Levitt and Tulsi Gabbard were kind of changing in and out, you're just prompting the White House press corps and reporters like me to keep asking about Epstein.
Well, yeah, also just show, if it's nothing, show us. Show us. You have the evidence at your disposal. Show us. One of the ways that the president's being buffeted right now are through some of his more reliable allies in the media or in the media space. That does include Steve Bannon, who is using this as an opportunity to try to go to an old and very reliable punching bag. Let's play him.
The Wall Street Journal and the Murdochs, as I have warned for years, are true enemies of this movement, true enemies of MAGA, true enemies of the United States, and particularly true enemies of President Trump. The other day, the half-baked story where they dropped it because Tulsi was releasing the first information on Friday to Bigfoot the story with the fake news phony poem and the phony drawing that they've never shown anybody. And what does the Wall Street Journal do? Immediately after that, they drop another story about President Trump. Oh, President Trump, you know, he's got this with Epstein. And President Trump and Caroline come out right away and say fake news. The Wall Street Journal is the enemy. They're coming after Trump with half-baked fake news, and they're trying to do it every day to Bigfoot, but Tulsi Gabbard's coming out with fact.
Okay, so fake news, an old reliable punching bag, as I said, Will Sommer. Is it working? And is there any question that you're hearing out there about Murdoch being Donald Trump's enemy, but also Murdoch owning Fox News?
I mean, Steve Bannon really gives the game away there. He's saying, you know, we keep essentially coming up with these distractions. We have Tulsi Gabbard coming out and delivering this whole speech about how Barack Obama is a traitor and throwing out all these intelligence documents, or we're doing all these other distractions. And then those can't even get a day to get going before the Wall Street Journal comes out and quashes them. In this case, with this bombshell report that Trump was told he was in the files. And so, I mean, I think there are a lot of distractions out there. The administration, we know, is throwing out, I mean, it's almost like they've thrown out too many. They've made it too obvious. Everything from we're going to put real sugar back in Coke to the Washington Commanders and now to this. You know, I don't think it's working. I mean, I think the administration has given its allies in the right-wing media enough footholds that they can try to pivot. Steve Bannon was someone who was trying to, you know, we got to find out the truth about Epstein originally, but now he's gotten on board with the administration. I should note, Steve Bannon has 15 hours of interviews with Jeffrey Epstein that he's not releasing, so he could go a long way towards revealing it himself. And but I think the grassroots really, they want to know the truth about Jeffrey Epstein, and that's why they're trying to get the answers.
Are they being accused of being a part of the cover-up now? As you said, Steve Bannon has 15 hours of interviews with Jeffrey Epstein. DOJ still has piles and piles of records regarding Jeffrey Epstein. You have some Democrats who are trying to file suit to get the information from Jeffrey Epstein's estate. I mean, they have all of this, and they have the ability to redact. I mean, the FBI has done a lot of redactions already. Are the voters, is the base that's demanding this, are they now looking at Donald Trump and his administration and wondering, wait a minute, are the guys that told me they were going to uncover things now covering them up? And if so, why?
You know, there's not polling on this, but I think we're seeing anecdotally people are turning against Trump. The QAnon shaman, people may remember from January 6th with the horns, he's become dissatisfied with Trump. He's saying Trump is covering it up. So you know, I do think there's some unrest out there despite the administration's attempts.
The QAnon shaman makes his triumphant return. Oh, God, Hannah, on that note, I'm going to bring you in. But first, I'm going to play, here's an interesting note from Tim Burchett, and it'll tell you why this is so hard for the administration right now. Let's play it.
She is a liar, and she's a dirtbag.
And so why subpoena her if you can't trust her?
Well, because the one thing we got holding over her head is if we find out she lies, she goes back to her original sentence. And that's looking at lifetime. And if she's looking at maybe parlaying this into reducing her sentence, then we could have some leverage there.
What would you ask her?
I want to know the chain. I want to know the money. I want to know the people involved. And all gloves are off.
So he's talking about Ghislaine Maxwell and the subpoena to have her testify or get her testimony for Congress. I mean, he's saying that, you know, she's going to still face life in prison unless she sings. I mean, Hannah, she already faced this. I mean, she could have offered information to the government to get a reduced sentence, to get a plea deal. She didn't do so. So I don't understand how Republicans believe they can suddenly trust her now.
This is the most interesting development, I would say, her testimony that could come in the next few days. The other thing we have to consider is that Trump could pardon her. So she's in a tricky position right now. Like, there's so many different motivations here that maybe they're using her testimony to cover something up, or maybe her testimony is going to be another bombshell just because she's in prison, so she has nothing to lose. This one, to me, is, you know, the most interesting thing that could happen and turn the story one way or another.
So what happens if, and again, we're looking at the podium, not a podium, a bunch of microphones in front of the prison in Tallahassee. That's where Ghislaine Maxwell is. It's where Todd Blanche is interviewing her right now. And hopefully he comes out and he speaks in front of reporters. We're going to see if he does. What if, Hannah, he comes out and says, Ghislaine Maxwell completely exonerated Donald Trump and we're going to pardon her?
You probably get a few more rounds of, is that true? Are they lying to us? I mean, that's the problem with the runaway train, as someone put it earlier. Like, until we see the documents, and even if seeing the documents might not put an end to it, but this particular conspiracy of a cabal of pedophiles is a bottomless pit. So we couldn't guarantee to anyone that that would put an end to it. But if she said that, then they literally opened every page of those files, and all you found was what we know so far, which is that, yes, Donald Trump knew Epstein, they were sociable, but he wasn't particularly implicated in any of his specific crimes.
By the way, this is the courthouse, not the prison. Oh, and there goes the courthouse. What about that? Do you agree with Hannah?
Oh, and I would add, this is a problem that's 10 plus years in the making, I think, for the Republican Party. If you remember that Tim Alberta book, American Carnage, he has this chapter about the year 2014. Excellent book. And in 2014, John Boehner, when he was speaker, goes to meet with Roger Ailes, the late Roger Ailes, when he was then running Fox News. And he realizes when he's meeting with Ailes that, oh, man, this guy actually believes a ton of conspiracy theories and has been in this echo chamber along with the viewers, whereas Rupert Murdoch didn't so much, but he only saw the ratings. And this is where, when you talk to these Republican operatives on background and anonymously, they start to get a little agitated about how the cart leads the horse here.
How does it fall? I mean, do you have a lot of Republican lawmakers who do, like Roger Ailes, as Tim Alberta suggested, do believe the conspiracies? Or are they people who see the ratings, see the voters, and say, you know what, if I keep feeding this thing, I'm going to amass more power. I'm going to get more people coming out to elect me. I can use this to my political advantage.
Yeah, and this is where I think it gets out of control, because it kind of mirrors the same cleavage we've seen in international politics with college degree versus non-college degree voters, and that gulf in investment, frankly, between the staffer and the lawmaker class and the voters. And that's where this problem just started, where the base now dictates a lot of what these folks think they have to talk about, and they've been captive to it. But this is one of the rare moments where it's kind of brought in stark relief, because they've been fanning this for so long.
Wag the dog is what comes to mind. Jake LaHotte, really good to have you. Thank you for joining us.